Hey, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. This weekend I've got a pile of stuff I've got to do. Not sure how the week's going to go. I lost my mom the other day, so going to be having to deal with that. So you might have to go a little bit without a couple of videos. Going to try to get a few done this weekend before I leave. But I got finally got my gun, so I can do my panel bond. I got my turbo kit, the oiling kit, so I can finish that up. And then of course we've got that pickup truck that we've still got to figure out what's going on with it. I did a little bit of research, so that's what we've got going on this weekend. Is all those projects. They're a bunch of little ones, but we'll try to skip through them as quick as we can. Get you out as many videos as we can over the next couple of weeks. So with that, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and let's get to work. So let's go ahead and we're going to plumb those up. We're going to pull the turbos, run over, get some fittings, get the water side hooked up, the oil side hooked up, and that way that thing's ready to drop in. We're probably not going to plumb the turbos right off the bat. We are going to break the engine in on the carburetor, but this will get us going and at least keep everything oiled. So let's get to it. So I initially ordered a kit, just a basic generic kit for the turbochargers, only to find out that these two are different. They have smaller fittings on both ends. The top is a screw-in instead of like a flat plate with the nozzle or the connector on it. So it uses a different type of oiling system. So I got these turbos from Max Speeding Rods. These are their basic intro no frills turbos. Figured this is the best thing to start with. They do have an upgraded model I'll probably go to later that have the better, it's an all around better system, but same size. So I'll be able to plumb everything, get everything going with these two, and then I'll move these two over to a different project, maybe one on the Pinto. That would be kind of cool to bring up the horsepower on that. But in the meanwhile, going through their site, and there's a link to it on my homepage, papascustomcars.com. You can go there. You can link to Max Speeding Runs. Please do. I get a little bit of credit every time you buy something, and they've got some pretty good prices on stuff. So far, so good. But I ordered two of these little kits, and the little kits are made for these exact turbos. So pay attention when you're ordering, so you know what you're going to get. Now here's our oil feed line. We've got some fittings. These are gold anodized instead of the blue and red like the other ones. These will go good with the blue on the engine. Never saw those before. You've got some adapters, and then of course your inputs and outputs for your fill and your drain. This particular one doesn't use the top one, the little bitty one here, because this will plumb right into the top of the turbo here. It doesn't have provisions for this type of a setup, which is kind of weird, but hey, it's what it is. So the trick is going to be getting into this turbo with just this fitting here. So we'll need an adapter and a few other things, but we will be able to get it working. So with that, let me get everything pulled out of boxes and ready to go, and then we'll see what we need in adapters for the system to get it working. So the first one is the adapter that goes into the oil sending unit in the back. You got two split offs, and then you have a top one, so you'll be able to hook one turbo to one side, one turbo to the other side, and then this, of course, would be your gauge or light or whatever you have, which we've got a gauge with copper. And as you can see, these are males, so I'm going to have to get another one of these little adapters so that I can change it to male. So let's put this one on first and get started with that. So the first thing we have to do is go ahead and put our fitting in here to bring it up to tee off to the turbos. I've already run one of the lines that's kind of just sitting here. Because of the stiffness of these, I'm going to run around backwards. So this one will come around to this side, this one will come around to this side, and that'll give us a little more clearance, and we'll just put them right in through there. So let me get the good old white tape on my adapter, and we'll go from there. So first things first, we put in the fit. So we got that one done. Next is going to be our key fitting. That'll go on top of this one. This gives us 3 directions for our oiling. Yeah, because we can't bump into this. We've got to have a clear shot on both sides. All right. The real trick to this is to get it straight. Be careful not to cross it. It being brass, it would be really easy to mess this up. Trick to these, get the other line in there, because with this weird angle, it's definitely going to be a tough one. And I should probably get a different adapter for here and bring it up even higher so that it's up in this area somewhere, so we've got plenty of clearance all the way around. This is almost too low. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pull this apart. We're going to pull this adapter out. We're going to put a taller one on it, a little pipe, and then come up to those. Because if we try to put this other line here, because of the distance, we're not going to have enough room, and we cannot turn it enough to go back because it's already up against here. So yeah, we're going to have to pull it apart, and we're going to have to raise this up. So one of the fun things about building a turbo engine from a kit, I guess is the way to put it. So we'll go ahead and pull this apart. I'm not going to keep you guys around for it. I'll be back as soon as I've got a taller stand. We'll go from there. Okay, so with this the way it was this was too low to the ground. So I went and picked up a 2.5 inch extension for it. Line goes around this way or through the back way. I think if I go about right there, I should be okay. We want to make sure that everything is clear of the distributor. Wiring is here for that, and we've got ample clearance going that direction. So let's go ahead and grab a line. Down underneath here. It's really nice these air gap manifolds because they give you a nice place to run things without having to worry too much about going. This is almost huge height, and then we've got all this extra line. So let's go ahead and clean it out. Okay, it's the next day, so let's get finishing this up. Like I said, I had to bring in about a 2.5 inch stand. I probably could have got away with 2 inches, or but we'll have to crisscross these lines because they're so long. But this one will go over to the other side. And what's nice is I've got this, our air gap manifold, so I can run things underneath it. So I'll be able to run both the lines underneath the manifold and bring them over here where they need to be. And that puts us right up over here next to the turbo where we need to be. So that's this side, and then we'll do the same with the other side. We'll come around through here and then over to the other side for the other one. Now, one of the things I do need to put in here are restrictors for the turbos. These lines don't have restrictions in them, so I will have to put a restriction in them because you want to slow that oil down going through the turbos. Normally, the fitting in the top will have a small inlet. I'll show you one real quick. See, normally they'll have this little teeny tiny hole for the oil, so it definitely slows it down a lot. Because we don't use this standoff on this type of turbo, this will not work. So we'll have to put some kind of a line restrictor in it. That way we do slow it down. So the only thing I need to do is just bolt her on. Oops, we're backwards there. I pulled it off to take it over. These are both air and water, or oil and water cooled. Okay. So then this one just hooks to this. Yeah, that's too tight. I need to reroute it. Can't go that direction. So we're just going to have to go. It wants to walk. So what we'll end up doing is probably just running it along this direction, down along here, away from everything. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But let's hook the other line up and see how we're doing there. But yeah, this one will come across this way. We'll probably end up switching it and going around the back, I'm thinking. We'll figure it out, but then we can come either through this way and up and over, or just around the back and come down here, and we'll build some something to work off of the bolts here, or something in this general area to hold it up out of the way. We want to keep it away from here as much as we can, so we have to be careful of that. But yeah, it's kind of not in a good place right now. I don't like the way this is routed at all. It would probably have to go more like that. So we definitely would want to lower it down. And then let's take a look at that other one and see where we're at there. Now I do have another line that's straight in, but I prefer the curved ones better. That way it's easier to get it out of the way. And we've already got our drain in. Now this is going to be tricky because the drain comes out right here. The exhaust is going to be right here. This is going to have to all be wrapped. But our drain will come out, and we've got our bungs already in the front of the oil pan for it. And as I said, I'm not putting any pipe tape on anything. I'm just mocking it for now because we still have to figure out the direction everything's going to go and all that kind of fun stuff. And then also remember, we do have water also that goes to these turbos because they are also water cooled. And the reason I did that is I just felt it would be a lot better because I know how hot these. That's that one. And this line's going to run over to the other turbo. And for now, to keep garbage out of our oil galley, We're going to go ahead and put this little cap on there. That'll keep it plugged for now. I do have another one of these T's, and I've also got a very short one that I could use also. And these are flared on the top of the turbos for the oil feeds, so we don't have to worry about the fact that these don't spin at all either. There's feed 1 and feed 2. Like I say, this does not feel well at all. I'm almost thinking that this fitting is no good. We're going to have to re-evaluate this one. Yeah, see, the threads are galled. Not so much in there. It looks good. There's no particles in there, which is also a good thing. You don't want to get anything from this or any type of metal in here at all. It'll mess up these bearings so quick and make our head spin. So for now, we're just going to set it here, and we're going to come back at it later. I have to do some research to find out the closest one to this size fitting and what it goes into.
The next day.
So just to give you an update, it's been a few days. The fittings that I had for here are not the correct ones, so I pulled them off. I have ordered the correct one. I got some of this style fitting to an AN, and that'll take care of this. Not real keen on the way all this is running. I think these are just a bit too long. I'm thinking I'll probably pipe off this one, and then do a T under here, and then come up on both sides to the 2 turbos. The water cooling runs in through one way and runs out the other. And if you set up your water correctly, your water cooling, you can actually set it up to where it'll actually siphon after the vehicle's turned off. The water will actually continue to flow through, even with the motor turned off. I was reading up on it, and it's kind of neat how it works. I've got multiple places here where I can get water from. I've got an outlet in the back of this particular intake, and I can come off of it. It comes off the back of the engine. I don't know how cool that would be, but I want to come off of the coolest part of the cooling system to keep these things really, really cool. And that definitely helps with the longevity of these turbos. They're not an expensive turbo. This is their low-end max heating. This is their low-end turbo, the 3582, or 3585, I can't remember what it is, but one of those 2 numbers. This is their low-end entry-level turbo, made for a smaller car, 4-cylinder, but since we're running 2 of them, it'll work just fine. I don't expect to push more than on the boost, so should be okay with everything. And then later on, if we want to upgrade, we can step up better turbo on here. They do have some upgraded turbos that you can run. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. This motor won't be in racing, so I'm not going to run a lot of boost. Once we've got it in place, we can do our exhaust and everything and know how everything's going to lay out. So that'll definitely help us later on. Wires, I'm probably going to get them out of this area completely, probably run them down around the bottom and through the back if we do Corvettes and that kind of thing. But that's kind of to get you up to date. I will give you the part numbers and list of everything to plumb these turbos. The way that I'm doing it here, this is an air gap manifold, so I've got space underneath that I can run these wires or these lines, and that'll help out a lot. But that's kind of where we are. These are on back order, the little fittings from the company that I ordered.